this. All right, so we're going to get started. And today we're talking about building volume and coach placement. And a very interesting topic. It's one of those, topics that like there's probably, 100 different opinions and many different ways that you can get to the results that you're looking for. I was kind of having a discussion before we hit record here and with some of the coaches that jumped on earlier that, there's no perfect compensation plan and there's really no perfect structure, for you to build with, because there's human error involved in it. There's no way to predict exactly what someone's going to do or not do. And so if everyone perfectly placed and had, perfect fulfillment of every expectation, you'd probably break the compensation plan. It would max it out. The company would go under and, we'd have to redo the whole thing. And so I want you guys to recognize that, whatever approach that you're taking, or maybe whatever has happened in the past in your business, and you're like, I screwed that one up, or I didn't, put that one perfectly. That's going to happen. Without a crystal ball, you're just not going to, you're not going to get it perfect. That being said, there are some interesting pieces to, the Beachbody compensation plan that, that make it so that if you and/or as you're teaching your new coaches to kind of follow some best practices, the way that the compensation plan works in terms of cycle bonuses, in terms of the fact that it's built on a binary structure. So you've got, just the two legs with, a right and a left leg, and they can build off of each other, or they can build off of what, is built above them and what you build below yourself. It's a really unique, feature. There's no limits to the number of levels that you can earn. And also something very unique. I don't know, if you guys have been involved in other companies or comp plans, but it is very unique that Beachbody allows you to enroll your spouse. Most companies that doesn't happen. You get one distributorship per household. And then the multiple business center thing is also very unique. Recently, some companies are starting to do that more because they see that, hey, you get these motivated people who are builders. So if you just give them a chance to build a second business under themselves, they do it instead of witch hunting for the person that's going to do what what they did, right? But usually they don't get an additional. You like that term? I probably shouldn't have thrown that out. Usually you don't get that additional business center until you've reached higher levels in the comp plan. Like I would say, maybe the equivalent of a 10-star diamond type position before the company would issue, an additional entity, to a coach or a distributorship, at a company. So the fact that we can build, both a spouse account and, multiple business centers that are issued, at the 2-star diamond rank makes our plan pretty unique, and also makes it have a high level of management, I guess you could say, and interesting structure to it. So anyway, with kind of that preface, you guys, I'm excited to dive into this. Jody Wells is a little bit new to our Tuesday group. She'd been with our Monday group, had some schedule changes and whatnot, but Jody is awesome. She is a 2-time elite coach. She lives in are you in Boca Raton?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, I don't want to screw this up. I'm like, I know it's up there north of Miami. I think it's Boca. She's in Boca Raton, Florida. So the mouth of the rat. I don't know why they went with Boca Raton. In Spanish is like mouth of a rat. I'm like, nice name for a city. But anyway, that's where Jody's from. She's been kicking butt for a lot of years, and she has volunteered to tackle this ever so interesting topic. And so she's gonna give us some of her thoughts, and then again, let's ask questions, jump in with what's worked for you or what you've heard, or share best practice like we normally do. And Kristen Sharp, welcome to you as well. now I see two of you, Kristen, one frozen and one live. So,
Hey.
Do you guys see two of Kristen as well, or is it just me?
That's her other business center.
Yeah, I duplicated myself. I'm having major internet problems. Like nothing will load. Like none of my Facebook messages will load right now. So
Yeah, we heard there's some Facebook craziness going on. Yeah, every time you have a second business center hit 6-star or above, you can listen twice. You can be in another mastermind group. It's awesome.
that would be amazing.
All right. Very cool. All right, Jody, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Okay. Well, I am going to go ahead and screen share. And yes, I live in Florida, but I'm from Jersey, and you'll hear that as soon as I start talking. So I just want to share that with you. And I'm going to bring up a slideshow. I felt like I had to get fancy for you guys. Okay, so I made a PowerPoint. Okay, and I can't see anybody's face, but you can see that?
We can see it.
Okay.
Looks good, Jody.
Okay. So I actually, there's everyone just popped up. So I had shared with Craig before you guys got on that when I signed up to do this, because I like placement and volume and money and all of that. And I signed up to do it, and then I panicked on Friday. I'm like, oh no, I can't present to all these like good coaches that know what they're doing. And I typed up a message to tell them I couldn't do it. I had some conflict, and I never hit send. And I decided that I have really gone to great lengths to learn about placement and volume, and I have tapped into all of my carryover volume. I made about $10,000 out of carryover volume in the past 3 months by placing strategically and knowing that it's there. And I've also worked with a couple of success partners that floored me how little they knew about even how to calculate their income and their volume. So to me, this PowerPoint is very basic, but maybe it's stuff that you don't know and you'll get something out of it. So here's what I've done and what I've learned. And like Craig said before, it is so unique to everybody's business center that there is no right or wrong. And there are different views on everything, like ratios and spouse placement and second center placement. And there is no right or wrong, but I'm just going to share what works for me and what I teach my coaches to do, because I feel like it maximizes the income and grows a bigger team. So here we go. Oh, why is it telling me to move my thing? Hang on. Okay, so building volume. So I broke it down into steps. I used to be a teacher. I number everything. So here are the things that I did. I think it's 7 now. I don't see them all to actually grow, build volume, and then I'm going to break down each step. So dig deep into your downline. That is huge because your personal volume, you know, depends on your whole team, or your team volume depends on your team, not just what you produce. Creating diamonds, and I really believe in creating real diamonds. Knowing your volume and your ratios. Like I said, I have talked to coaches before that didn't even know how to calculate their cycle bonus. So I think you really need to know where your volume's at, what your ratios are, and what you're making in cycle bonus. Tap into your carryover. Do you have carryover? And if you do, figure out how to tap into that before you flush. Nobody needs a super strong leg, and nobody needs $1 million in carryover sitting there not being used. Stacking your business centers, which I think all of you guys know how to do that by now, but there are strategic ways to stack it to make more money on every volume point you have under you, and then placing coaches on inside legs. So I'm going to start by digging deep in your downline. So for me and my team, there is no such thing as a PS coach for me. I have a team, because it doesn't matter whether my personally sponsored coach is bringing in the volume or somebody 5 level deep is bringing in the volume. So for me, I still have a small team. I think I am probably about under 1,000 still, so I can do this. I have to figure out how to continue to do this as I grow. But hands down, my best coaches are not my personally sponsored coaches, and I groom them deep. So how do I do that? I look for coaches that are adding value to the team page. So people that are answering other people's questions, posting questions, adding tips, sharing on the team page. I look for those people. I start checking them in the sponsorship drill down to see what they're doing in their business, and I start stalking them on Facebook to see what they're doing on their personal page. I look for coaches in the downline that are making volume that's really high or making Success Club. I know everybody in my downline that is producing volume or making Success Club. My assistant runs reports on that. So I start stalking them on Facebook. I see what they're doing and see how I can help them. I look for the coaches that participate in the trainings and ask valuable questions. How many people do you put in a training group, which now I have a training website, that you never hear from again? So when I say valuable questions, it's not how do I log in, but coaches that are digging deeper and thinking and trying to figure out the business. I look for those people that are figuring things out. And then how do I connect with them? I message them and I start building relationships with these coaches. They could be, 2 deep from me. They could be 6 deep from me. It doesn't matter. I send them a message. Tell them I'm here for them and I am their upline coach, upline star diamond coach. I do not ask their sponsor coach. I simply just reach out and say, hey, you're doing a really good job. Your posts are good. Congrats on making Success Club. I just want you to know I'm here for you. And let them know that I'm here for them. And it's amazing that all of those coaches that I reach out to message me back and thank me. And oh my God, this is awesome. And they feel like really special that I've reached out to them. So then what I do is add them to group chats. So I am huge with group chats. I love putting groups of people together that are in the same place in their business. So what I'll do is these newer coaches or up and coming leaders are all in a group chat, maybe 5 to 8 coaches, where they help each other out, but I chime in the group chat to redirect them, help them, or get them talking amongst themselves. So I end up getting to know these coaches that I'm digging down deep and finding really, really well, more than on my team page, but I feel like they're like my friends and I know everything about them from these group chats, because the group chats end up getting personal too, which is awesome, but we do lots of business building in them too. So like I said, I don't believe in personally sponsored. I go as deep as I go and try and find those that are already doing good and see if I can help them be even better or build quicker. Oops, there was another one. I didn't know that. I offer a mentorship group. So I don't do it every month. I'm doing it right now. I do a 30-day mentorship group for business builders only. And it's a private group page. And here's how I run it. And I find that it's not a lot of PS coaches. It's the down deep coaches that want to get to know me. This is not a training. This is not something else I need to create. This is a daily live video that tells them what I'm doing in my business. This has been amazing because they're listening to me. I will tell them little dumb things like, oh, we have an open house we need to invite you. Here's the kind of thing you should message, or here's what you should post. And they are commenting back like, oh my God, this is helping me so much. I never thought to message like that or script like that. Even though this stuff is already in trainings, having them one-on-one for 30 days where they can get into my mind and how I run the flow of a month of a business has been really, really good. So right now my mentorship group has about 85 people in it, and they are basically getting one-on-one mentorship from me through the videos. So creating diamonds, that's our goal, and it's not to rank advance at all. It is to create coaches that know how to onboard people and know how to get volume. So real diamonds are emerald factories. I teach everyone how to make emeralds. And I think that's really important. I do not ever, ever tell my coaches to make their husband emerald. I do not want them to be fake at diamonds. I want them to know how to create emeralds, and I want them to know how to onboard people that want to be emerald. So yes, to get emerald, I say, oh, you can sign your spouse or your first customer. But once we're training on getting diamond, I really don't have them build fake emeralds. I would rather have them have a diamond center with 6 emeralds than have a husband and a sister as an emerald, because I find that those coaches that you are teaching to fake diamond, making other people emerald, aren't big volume producers because they don't know what they're doing. If they can't produce 1 emerald, they're not going to be creating volume for you and your team. So I teach them how to attract business builders, people that want to build a business, not just begging people to sign on for a discount. Teach them how to convert their customers into discount coaches. I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much, at this point, almost 90% of my customers turn into coaches, and I teach them to do the same thing. I teach them scripts, how to talk to people. Like, for example, I teach them never use the word coach when converting a customer. I think it scares them and they run. So I teach them how to talk to people and how to write scripts and how to not word vomit to people in messages in order to get them on board, whether it be working coaches or discount coaches. I teach them how to invite into the event. So we all have the live What is Coaching and the 3-day sneak peeks. And it's amazing that they have no idea how to invite into them, that they send somebody a message 4 paragraphs long about inviting and about the coaching opportunity, but they never say, hey, could you just join my event? I think you might be interested. So I work a lot with them on the diamond training and the mentor group on how to invite and writing scripts. And I make sure they stay on their own health and fitness journey. So I find that huge. And I'll message my coaches, especially my business building coaches, all the time and be like, hey, have you worked out in like a month? Because it doesn't look like it. So I do, not doesn't look like it, meaning they look bad, but that I haven't seen them posting about their health and fitness journey. But I do make sure that they stay accountable. We do have team-wide challenge groups because I feel like if you have no health and fitness journey, you have no business.
Good clarification there, Jody, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
I might tell them the other way too, but still.
Yeah, like I said, Kim is in Jersey as well. She was tracking right there with you.
Help them with placement, not just to get Emerald, not just left and right. I sit down with every business building coach and really dissect their business center and say, this is your strong leg. Anybody you think is going to be a business builder goes here, stack this leg, put your discount coaches here, place your husband there. I really designed their diamond roadmap for them. And I do this in the diamond training. So they can't even get in the diamond training until they have 2 emeralds. So I know that they're business builders happening. So I really spend time with them in that training, not on one-on-one calls, exactly what their center looks like and how to produce a solid diamond center. So knowing your volume and ratios. I hope everybody on this call knows how to do this, but I had a success partner who was a 7-star diamond and had no idea how to do this. So my business, my volume. Look at it every week, every day. You have a left leg and a right leg. You need to know what your volume is, what your average volume is. You need to know the ebbs and flows of the monthly volume, when you have low, when you have high. It is just a way to know how to build. So are you at a 2-to-1 ratio? I am not going to debate this. I believe you make the most amount of income on a 2-to-1 ratio, not on a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm not going to go head to head with these superstar diamonds that believe different. This is what's worked for me. This is how I build my second center. And this is how I tap into all my carryover volume. I stay 2-to-1 as much as I can. I do have a power leg, so it's really hard for me to get 2-to-1, but that's always my goal. But I've seen it in my husband's center and my second center that 2-to-1 makes sense. That's what you get paid to build like. Don't let your 2-to-1 ratio get to be 5-to-1. So you do that by adding valuable coaches in that weaker leg. Know how many times you cycle each week. You should know what your cycle bonus is before you actually check your paycheck. So know how many times you're going to cycle. I'm going to talk about carryover, but know how much carryover can tap in each week. Have volume goals. This was huge for me. Don't just look at your volume and be like, oh, I'm at 10,000. Like, no, like you need to know what your goal is in volume. And it's not, oh, I want to make $10,000 a week. You need to actually look at your centers on your whiteboard in your Coach Online office, look at that volume and be like, I need my weak leg volume to grow to XXX so that my carryover volume will come down, or so that I can make $1,000 a week, or whatever that volume goal is. So I make my diamonds give me a volume goal once we know what their business goals are, because they need to figure that out on their own. And I do teach them that. Know where you're placing. So it is, we never know who's going to be a rock star. We all know that. You know, your discount coach that's never going to sell anything becomes diamond in a week, and your rock star falls off the face of the earth in 30 days. That's how it happens. But know where you're going to place people. So on my whiteboard, I have like little sticky notes that are color coded that have next business builder 2, business builder 3, discount coach 1, discount coach 2, somebody I really like 3, a family member 1. And so when I go to sign a coach, I just have to look at my whiteboard and I know exactly where they're going to be placed. So it is never a guessing game like, oh my God, I don't know where to switch my legs and where am I going to put this person, because I have it all planned out ahead of time. And I go back about once a month and change my sticky notes depending on what's happening with volume in my business. So don't make placement a guessing game. And I will tell you this too. I also don't place coaches to hold rank. So right now my husband lost Diamond and I don't care because it's not going to increase my volume, my business, or my income. Yeah, he needs one discount coach over there. When the time's right, I'll give it to him. But if you're building for volume and income, you can't let rank get in the way. You need to place coaches in the smartest place to place them, even if it means, your rank might not hold. Tapping into your carryover volume. Not everybody has carryover volume, but some of you do. But don't leave your carryover volume out there to flush. It's like throwing cash in a trash can. I have flushed twice. I told you I was on a super strong leg. I have flushed twice. I flushed over $1 million in carryover volume before I even knew what the heck carryover volume was. So nobody taught me this stuff. By the way, I don't have an upline coach, so anything I've learned is pretty much self-taught. And I did not know there was even really a weak and strong leg or carryover volume till I was about a 5-star diamond. So carryover, know it's there. Look at it. And now it's right in your regular Coach Online office. You don't have to go to previous office view. Look at your carryover. How much do you have sitting left and sitting right? Where do you need to build to tap into carryover volume? This is super confusing if you're not like a numbers person, but basically I want to teach you how to tap into your carryover volume. Let's say your ratios are 200 on your left leg, 100 on your right leg, and you have carryover on your left leg because it's a strong leg. You can build that right leg volume as high as you want. You can make it 5,000. And carryover volume on that left leg jumps down into your weekly volume to maximize your cycle bonus. So I think I just said 5,000. If you had 5,000 volume on your right leg and left leg has all this carryover volume, 10,000 volume points come down magically from carryover and allow you to cycle 5,000 volume. What is that? Divided by 150 times. Even though the volume isn't there that week. That's how carryover volume works. So like I said, this year alone, from January till April, I have made $10,000 tapping into carryover volume. It is a savings account. Use it. I mean, to me, it should be your number one goal to hit carryover volume if you have a strong leg. You can place in a way that taps into carryover volume in more than one center. So if you have stack centers, which I'm going to go over next, you can place coaches and orders in a way that carryover comes down out of the magical carryover cloud twice out of 2 centers carryover. So you can double dip into a savings account if your centers are placed right. So you really, really need to decide when we're talking volume, what is your goal for building? Do you want rank? Do you want volume? And do you want elite? And you need a clear-cut answer on what you are building for. So, if you want elite, if you want recognition, if you want that 10-star bonus, your placement could be very, very different if your goal is, I want to build to maximize volume. And I know for me, it completely is. I will probably never hit 10-star because my goal is volume. My goal is bringing my husband home and paying for my 4 kids to go to college and going on vacation whenever I want. So rank isn't important to me. Elite isn't important to me because I need to maximize my volume anywhere that I can. So how do you stack a business center? I am assuming you guys know this, but you can definitely maximize your income and your volume if you are stacking your own centers. So you can place your secondary business center to benefit your other centers, meaning placing them on the weak leg. You can earn cycle bonus 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times more, depending on how many centers you have stacked. I know that there are coaches out there that have 5, 6 centers all on the weak leg of the weak leg of the weak leg of the weak leg, and then they start building that bottom center. And if you build that bottom center, you are getting cycle bonus on every center above you. So I even made this cute little graphic if you don't understand what stacking centers is. So if the blue is your center and the gray little dots are your downline coaches, I didn't add a whole bunch of them. Here is your second center, this first blue dot, and it is on a weak leg. And then you're going to add your next center or your husband center or a third center on the weak leg of the weak leg. and so on. And you're going to continue to stack on this inside weak leg. And then when you build this bottom center, everybody's getting cycle bonus from there on up. So you are making so much more income on every single sale and coach because you're stacked. So how do you place on an inside leg? So inside dead legs are only dead if you stop building there. I place every single coach on an inside dead leg. And maybe that makes me awful and terrible, and why would I do that to people? But the key is that they're only dead if you are not building there. So on my second centers on my weak leg, I put everybody on the inside dead leg of that center. Everybody. I now have a 2-star coach and 3 diamond coaches there. That leg is now my strong leg. So it's only inside dead if you don't build it. Dead spots maximize your income. They create strong inside legs. So my second center is on my weak leg. Its weak leg should be weak. It's not. Its weak leg is now strong, which means I have no carryover volume, which means I have happy coaches that I'm placing strong leaders under. So the inside dead leg is now a strong leg. Place all of your coaches on inside legs. So again, let's pretend that we're now placing coaches. Oh, that dot should be gray. Okay, so you're the blue dot. Here's your second center. Pretend this bottom blue dot is gray. I am now placing coaches on this inside leg, and I am placing the coaches from my first center. I always build my first center. It's your bread and butter till you're maxed out. Build that first center. But look where I'm placing my coaches that I now add. I am strategically placing them on the weak leg of my lowest center. And that's where I'm going to build. Now, those coaches, I am going to benefit in volume in my second center, my third center, and my first center. So anytime you're adding to your weak leg, you need to benefit some of these other centers. And like I said, it only stays dead if you stop building. But I have coaches placed here, so when they first signed up, it looked like they got no upline volume, but I continued to build there. And now, like I said, my first coach that I placed on the dead inside leg just hit 2-star. So she's now feeding the volume of everybody else I'm putting on an inside dead leg. So it's increasing your volume everywhere. You can also do this on your strong. My left leg happens to be strong, so that's why we're talking strong left, but you can also do this on your strong leg. Now, my husband is on my strong leg. I think it's brilliant. He's just there because I had no idea how to place people. But guess what? Anytime I add somebody to my strong leg, they're going on my husband's weak leg. If I didn't have my husband over there, I would be wasting coaches and volume on my strong leg because sometimes you have to place there. But now I get to add coaches and it benefits his weak leg. So again, these coaches are only in a dead spot if I don't build there, but it is the only place that I build. So my husband's center, since he's on a super strong leg, I don't build him really at all, but he makes a pretty good income. I think when I first hit him diamond, he was making $400 or $500 a week simply because I placed this way. My first center benefits his weak leg. And it's an amazing way to build because your spouse or whoever you have in there is not going to go to waste on a strong leg because you're going to be able to maximize their income. And that is basically what I have done to maximize my volume and income. So like I said, I feel like that was pretty basic and it was everything that you know, but maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I've done. That's how I've stacked my centers. I've tapped into all my carryover volume in my second center, which had a ton of carryover volume, and now I'm working on that first center carryover volume by building inside dead and by building deep in my downline. That's all I got for you, Craig.
That was awesome. I'm still taking notes under the whole spouse on the strong leg thing.
I know people want to kill me when I say that, but it has worked for me, and I teach my coaches to do it, and here's why. No new coach is running anything under their husband. Nobody, you're like, oh, if you run orders, you get double this. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's going to give up. I just realized I'm locked. Nobody's giving up Success Club points when they're a new coach. Nobody's building their husband diamond. Like, I feel like your second center on your weak leg is where you're going to run stuff through, because we're greedy and we want our Success Club points and we want our elite points, and I'm not giving anybody to my husband that's going to take away from my elite points, right? So I like the spouse on the strong leg because it gives you a place when you have to build your strong leg to maximize income. So it's how I teach, and I also teach a 2-to-1 ratio, and people can shoot me down saying 1-to-1's better or weak leg of spouse is better, but it is what I see works. And maybe in the long run, when you're in the millionaire 15-star 5 years down the road, you don't make as much money, but I feel like my coaches want to see a successful, solid business early.
Yeah, why not? That's preferable to a weak, unstable business. So
yeah, and I didn't know any of this stuff till I hit 5-star. I swear to God, it was like I hit 5-star and I joined a couple of the groups with coaches that I was like, oh my God, I mean, I could be like making so much more money and so much more volume if I knew all these tricks when I was hitting 5-star and going for elite. So this is stuff I figured out after. So my coaches are lucky, but now I can grow in that way.
Awesome. Well, this has been really, for me, Jody, this has been awesome. I haven't had myself a volume type training where some of this stuff has been brought to light. So for me, it's been excellent. I'd like to open it up for any questions or comments or clarifications to the group.
Hey, Jody, thank you so much for all that. I'm an Emerald personality, so I absolutely love this. Craig knows this. Talk to me about numbers.
Yep.
How strong is your strong leg? I'm just in this situation where I pretty much cycle evenly, which is totally fine. Maybe work harder for it. But if you were in that situation, would you take the same approach?
Yes. Because really my second center, since it was mine on a weak leg, it doesn't have a super strong leg, and I do build it 2-to-1. My legs have flipped, which is okay too, but I do try and keep a 2-to-1.
Yeah, right there with you. So 2-to-1, are you talking like two like cycles to one cycle? And am I understanding you correctly?
200 to 100.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So just my thought process would be that would be a 1-to-1 like cycle. So I just want to make sure I was.
Yeah. No, some people like the legs even because they don't want carryover. I like carryover,
Nikki.
but I like carryover.
Just to clarify, Jody, when you say 2-to-1 ratio, you're talking a 2-to-1 volume ratio.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people build 1-to-1 when they're building from the ground up, but I love carryover. Are you kidding me? I bought my daughter a car with that $10,000. Like, I love carryover. Don't let it flush, but it doesn't flush in a couple months. And as long as you're continuing to build your business and onboard workers, it's not going to flush because you're going to know your ratios and know where you have to place.
Hey, Jody, I have a question. Thank you so much because I know nothing. Like I put my husband's, I put my second business center under my weak leg, but had I put it under my husband's weak leg, I would have been literally making $50,000 more a year. So that makes me sick that I don't know that. But what are you gonna do? You know? But you had said like when those red dots came out, so you sponsor a coach under your first business center, but you can place it. I didn't know that.
Oh, see, I didn't know that either when I hit 5-star. And I added like, oh, these coaches in a stupid spot. Yes, you need to go in your genealogy and click where you want it. Yes, place all your coaches there.
So let me ask you a question then, because I am driven both by money and recognition. And I do, like I've been able to do my business laterally and vertically. So how does that count in terms of recognition?
Well, it's still on your weak leg.
Okay, so it would be
it still counts as your first center, yeah. So it doesn't change anything.
I know that because I'm trying to get to 15, so I'm putting everybody on my right side.
Put them on a weak leg of anything, anybody. Yes, always. And then what happens is the weak leg on my second center is now my strong leg. So now I had to stop building. I had to stop building on the inside because I am too strong now on my inside.
So I could be putting them on my weak leg of my third business center and still getting credit for them to go to 15. I am an idiot. Thank you.
See, and that's how I felt, but it was a year ago. It was like literally.
My husband's listening to this and he's like, I told you.
Yeah, and that's that inside dead leg placement where you hear coaches like, oh, I made $1 million and I'm on an inside dead leg. That's where they were placed because their upline was smart. I want to place a future 15 star on my inside dead leg.
Well, Danielle Natoni, Lori Stewart is on her inside leg.
Yeah, she did that on purpose, but maybe not, because some people just click and have no idea. I mean, I have some people placed in weird places before I knew what I was doing, but I wish I knew that from day one. But like I said, I don't have an upline coach. I don't have anybody telling me where to place anybody anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so thank you. You're going to make some money.
Yeah, a lot of money. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. Wow.
Think about all those diamonds you have on your weak leg could have been on the weak leg of another business center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got lucky. My best coach is a 4-star, and she's on my weak leg of my second business center. And I just lucked out.
Right.
He was a discount coach.
Yeah, I lucked out too. I had like 12 diamonds on my weak leg at one point. And and that was before I even knew. That was before I even knew left and right. That's how I grew. And then when I started building weak leg, if you put everyone there, there's gonna be diamonds there. And that's that whole dig deep too. I have 18 diamonds on my weak leg. Not mine. I don't give a crap if I'm 2-star. It doesn't matter. They're not mine, but they're on my weak leg.
Yeah, I do the same thing with, I have an ass kickers group. And so if you're in my downline and you're kicking ass, you're in there, because I really do feel like a culture needs to be developed. And like I'm hurting my personally sponsored coaches if I'm not putting them in an environment with other people who are kicking ass. And I don't want their personally sponsored coach in with them, because if their personally sponsored coach is doing crap, then they don't belong in there.
Yeah, I put them all in, and I have not yet gotten pushback from any of their upline coaches.
Yeah,
people ask me that. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm their star diamond. I'm listed in their business center. I have a right to message them. And like I said, I just start with like little encouragement. Mm-hmm. But when they jump back with questions, I'm like, hey, why don't I add you to a chat? And I don't put their upline coaches in it. I just put them in it and run with it. It works for me, but I don't have a lot of leaders on my page though either. So no one's going to get mad that I'm training their coaches. So
I've got my business centers stacked, and so my my second business center, my husband's actually on my team leg. We didn't really know, I wasn't really told where to put him, but I don't really have an upline coach that is a huge builder, so my legs are really pretty even, which I actually kind of like as a little bit of a blessing, because I could kind of go at my own pace and I could keep up. But again, I sort of wish I had some carryover volume too, because I really don't have any. But I'm starting to get some, because actually my weak leg now is my team leg, because all of my volume is under my second business center, which is my husband's weak leg. And so like Kim, all of my coaches that I'm placing right are going on the right or left legs of my second business center, which are on his left leg. And I think I have 12 diamonds down there between either mine or downline coaches. So, but my problem is that I have to keep my husband at diamond, or else he caps cycle bonuses. So he cycles over 1,000 a week. So if I don't keep him at diamond, I lose money. So that is always a stressor of mine when I see inactive coaches, because I'm not really building him for rank, so to speak.
You keep it there for the money. Yeah. Yeah,
I need to keep him at diamond. So I mean, he usually has between like 10 or 12 coaches, but a lot are discount. You know, when you see all the red and you're like, oh, we got to throw a coach over there soon. Because I went my success partners was like, why are you freaking out about him losing rank? Because I mean, I didn't really care in terms of my own personal rank, but he would cap at 750, and I didn't want that.
Yeah, I did that stupidly. I know all this about volume and placement, but I let my second center go. I'm like, I don't care about rank. Who cares? And then my paycheck was $250 because I capped at Emerald. I'm like, oh my God, I lost like $1,800 in 1 week. You bet it was diamond the next week. I'm like, how did
I remember
know
that discussion, Jody.
Yeah, Craig, he's like, well, you know, you cap at emerald. I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I looked at my paycheck. I'm like, oh, that's why I haven't been making as much money.
Yeah.
It does make for good teaching lessons, right, for your downline, so they understand that rank is important.
Well, that's how I know all this stuff, because I screwed it up.
So here's my question for you guys. For those that, and Jody, you're so helpful, so thank you. If they have, I've got a lot of people on strong legs. Like they're not getting a lot of help from above, but I'm building a lot. So they're on strong legs and they kind of were slower to build. And so now the question is, where do they build? Because, you know, do we get them to diamonds, like a solid diamond, and then chase the carryover, or we just chase carryover?
I teach them not to go diamond. I don't care about my rank. I do. I mean, especially if they're coaches that I like and I want to see them succeed and have a big income. I teach them to cap their cycle bonus before they hit diamond. If they have emeralds, great. If they have emeralds that are working, great. But I have them stack their weak leg. Then when they cap, then we
that weak leg.
Yeah, I have a lot of emeralds making, you know, capping, and then rubies. And
so one of my coaches is a diamond right now, and she's got 3 or 4 emeralds on her left leg and 2 or 3 on her right leg, and that the right leg is her stronger leg of the 2, but it's a leg I'm not really building on anymore, so it's not like there's going to be a lot of more volume added below. She's going to go 1-star qualified this Thursday. In order to go 2-star, she's going to have to build on that stronger leg. Now,
that's why a husband on a strong leg's awesome.
I know. Well, her husband is he's on her weak leg. So he's not over there. She did add her brother, but there's like, I don't really know that the relationship, it's different, you know, it's not the same family income. So I guess I'm trying to guide her, because that second business center is where the magic is. I know she has her husbands that she can build, but stacking another business center under the husbands at the same time. So, I mean, would you agree she needs to build that outside leg to get to find another diamond over there?
Yeah, she's going to have to.
And she may have some, but she's just sort of in the place where,
eventually you have to rank advance. I mean, eventually, I said I'll never go 10-star. Eventually, I'm going to have to. But I will probably go from 6 to 10, because or 6 to 12, or whatever it is, because I'm not building diamonds over there.
Yeah, I would definitely say in her case, Courtney, you need to get her to 2. There's just too many benefits at 2-star not to have her build towards that. Not only is it an additional business center, it's obviously a leadership bonus. It's an invitation to, you know, new leader conference. It's access to, you know, Keyshawn Graves. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to
her
that.
cycle bonuses aren't very big though. Like I'm my biggest cycle bonus producer. Like when I look at my bonuses, it's my husband and my second business center, but so I need to really help them with that, because her cycle bonuses are less than $200 a week.
Mine are my coaches who don't do anything get the biggest cycle bonuses, and then
I have one of those too. It's because I built her one leg and her sister is building her other. He cycles like $400 a week.
You see like $1,200 going to somebody who doesn't do shit, and like I've had to meditate to let it go.
I was gonna say, like, I know this one sticks in Kim's craw, because it's like,
I know, it drives me nuts too. And her sister, her sister's a
Nikki and I are working on
Nikki. Oh, yeah. If you need some PD right now, talk to Nikki. If you need
Wait, what was that book? I missed it.
She is on a...
Wait, and here's what I'm reading.
I got that one too.
Wow.
I actually put down my business building book so I don't murder anybody.
Oh, classic.
call has been great, because I am the type of person that I just look at my check and I'm like, oh wow, they paid me. Like Craig is like, do you know how much your week leg? I'm like, I don't know. Is that good?
Another week came in and the check came in. Awesome.
I know, like, to the cent how much my check is going to be.
This is not the call I wanted my husband to overhear.
Orlando, how's it going?
Hey, Jody, I have a question for you in terms of, so with Elite, it goes down for volume 3 levels. So have you got to the point yet where your business center, so like foresee this coming, like where my business center is going to be out of the range of CBC 1, so the volume that I'm building under that business center will no longer be captured, and therefore I'm going to lose the ATV for Elite?
I don't know. I only have 2 centers.
Okay.
You don't get 3 levels down from your second center?
Well, then it would be your second center that would be building to Elite, not the first center.
Can your second center make Elite?
If you, yeah, I mean, sure.
But I don't get an Elite report for my second center.
Oh, well, that's it.
I think everything rolls.
Yeah.
I think your PS coaches, no matter what center, are level 1. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
You're
As long
right.
as they're sponsored by you, like 3 levels would be a coach of a coach in your husband's business center, like, you know, like you, husband, their coach, their coach, their coach, like that's 4 levels. But if you put a personally sponsored coach in that spot 4 levels down, they're still sponsored by you. That's still level 1.
I get that, but what about the volume? Because, like, you'll have, like, you, like, so you, like, CBC2, and then, like, for me, my husband is built, so his second business center will go down, and then, like, eventually you'll get to the point where you'll go out of range.
But I think as long as they're your PS, you still go 3 below them, no matter where they are,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like if your 3rd or 4th business center is like stacked 5 deep,
Mhm.
everybody you PS in that 4th center is level 1 for you. So
Yeah.
you still go 3 levels deep with I believe, and then
Yeah, through
everything rolls.
through personal link generations, yes.
I get the coaches, but I thought the volume, the ATV for how that's calculated, the overall ATV.
Oh, you mean of your sales, your personal volume?
Yes,
That might not roll. I don't know.
that goes 3 levels. So you'll eventually get to a spot where, I mean, I guess like you can, wasn't Elite, I mean, Craig, like correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Elite kind of created as like as a beginner type goal? Like, I think, I don't know, I just, as an Emerald, I look at Elite and then I kind of look at like top 10 and then I look at Millionaires Club and I see different faces. So,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there should be interlacing on all of them, right? I mean, if you're doing the basics of the business, you're going to be able to hit in all those categories. But I mean, in terms of ATV and PV and that, I mean, your PV isn't going to count for you, but any team volume through 3 personally linked generations will count for you.
okay.
So
Yeah, which is why I said you need to know what your goals are. You know, like if your goal's Elite, then
Yeah.
guess what? That 5th center doesn't get your orders.
yeah.
But if your goal is, you really have to be very clear
Yeah.
on.
Well, and I would hate to sit here and be like, oh, well, the drivers of the company are oxymoronic, or they're teaching different things. You can't do this if you do this. If you opt to build for this, then you can't get this. Like that's we don't want that to happen. But certainly there are, if you're going to take and really focus in one area, sometimes it comes at the expense of maybe a rank or a recognition. But hopefully, as you build those things, you're also building volume and building a stable business. Guys, we need to wrap up. It's almost noon here, and the calls go on. I'm sure you guys have calls, and I've got a call right at noon. So we're going to wrap up. Jody, thank you so much. That was excellent. I've got this recorded, so I'll get it uploaded and get a YouTube link and post it in the thread. Got several people asking for it. So anyway, thanks for being on today, and we're going to have to coordinate. Nikki, well, we'll coordinate through the thread. I don't have a discussion leader for next week. It's the incentives topic that everyone seems interested in, but no one wants to talk about. So anyway, we'll have to figure that out. So, Aaron, what's up?
How we doing, again?
Oh, now the dogs are going nuts.
Now the dog wants me to say hello. Hey, dog. All right, you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you.